Good morning. It's pretty early in the morning, 4:15, because I'm hoping to be on the road by 5 a.m. and that should give me an hour of cycling when it's nice and cool and dark, no hot sun, and less traffic. Yeah, I can get an hour of cycling in before the sun even comes up. That's my goal for this morning. So I have sort of 45 minutes to shower, pack up, and get the bike ready and leave. I don't know whether that's going to happen though, because I'm sick to my stomach again. I don't know what's going on, so it's going to be a bit of a tough day, but we'll see how this goes. I don't really have a choice. If I did have a choice, to be honest, I wouldn't go anywhere today because I'm definitely not feeling well. But I have to get to Pekanbaru tomorrow in order to go to immigration. Well, I have to get to Pekanbaru today so that I can go to the immigration office tomorrow morning. So that's the whole idea. And I already have a hotel room booked in Pekanbaru at the Windstar Hotel. We'll see how that works out. And I chose that hotel partially because it's relatively close to the immigration office, about 1.5 kilometers away, like kind of downtown Pekanbaru. So I'm heading to the Windstar and then first thing tomorrow morning going to immigration. So I don't really have a choice. I've got to get to Pekanbaru today. All right, making progress. The bike is more or less packed up. I have it out there ready to go. I have the trailer attached. I just have my 2 pannier bags in here yet. I made one last rushed trip into the bathroom, and that's going to have to, hopefully that holds me until I get to Pekanbaru. We'll see how the day goes, but I don't feel that bad, so I'm tired though. You probably hear my voice is a bit froggy. I'm not quite ready for a day on the road, but yeah, a little bit later than I'd hoped. It's 20 after 5 now. The plan was to be on the road at 5. So it's going to be 5:30. I'm half an hour behind schedule, but there's no one at the front desk. I think everyone is back here preparing breakfast. So I have to drop off my key back here. There you are.
Oh, yeah.
Check out.
You in check out?
Yep, all done.
You want a breakfast?
No, thank you. No, I'm okay. That's good. Can I show your kitchen on video? So here's the kitchen here. They make a really good breakfast. Very nice.
A little.
Yeah.
A little no.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, and this is where my bike is. Got my lights flashing already. Whew, all right. Leaving the W72. Good morning. Just saying, it was kind of funny that I was talking about it's easier to pack up and keep track of everything when you're leaving from a hotel, just because all you have to do is make sure you've left nothing behind, and then you have everything with you. And right after I said that, I was trying to drop off the key, and there was no one at the front desk. I kind of knew that already because I was already chatting with a young guy. He saw me packing up, And he came out to make sure I wasn't leaving like right that second. You know, he says, okay, you're getting ready to leave, but you're not leaving right now yet. You know, we had a little chat about that. And he said he was in the kitchen. He was worried that, you know, there's no one at the front desk to check me out. He just wanted to let me know that everybody's back in the kitchen preparing breakfast right now. Ooh boy, my left knee is twinging and the day hasn't even started. So that's not good news about my left knee. Right knee is okay. Left knee, I was hoping to get a few good kilometers out of it, but it's already in pain. Oh well, let's see what I can do. But anyway, then I was ready to go, and all I needed to do was bring my 2 pannier bags to my bike and drop off the key to the room and, you know, officially check out. So I dropped off my 2 bags. Well, I just put them by the door next to my bike, and then I went to give them the key, and then they asked, oh, can we take a selfie together? So I said, sure, no problem. And then we walked all the way down the hallway to the lobby area where the light is better and you get the front desk and all that kind of thing. They wanted to pose for pictures there, so took a whole series of selfies with the 2 young guys that were on staff this morning. And there was an older woman there as well, seemed to be more senior in the hotel. And they took selfies with their phones, and then I asked them to take a selfie with mine. And then we were out there, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, however long it took. And then I suddenly realized that I'd left my 2 pannier bags completely untended, just sitting there out in the open where anybody could have grabbed them and run away with them. So even after all of my careful planning and packing and organizing and even talking about being careful and being organized, in the chaos of checking out, I end up leaving my most valuable possessions just lying on the ground, you know, completely unguarded for quite a long time. Woo. Couple of trucks moving at high speed. Man, oh, this left knee is going to be a problem. On the positive side of things, today riding to Pekanbaru will probably be, well, it was going to be my last day for now on this highway. I still don't know whether I'll be riding up the mountain to Bukit Tinggi or not. I may end up taking some kind of a bus if my knees won't let me do the climb. I'm going to wait and see how that turns out. But after Pekanbaru, the road to Bukit Tinggi changes. I turn off, like this is the major highway. This is the highway that runs all the way from Banda Aceh in the north, through Medan, to Pekanbaru. And then continues all the way on to Java, you know, and the rest of Indonesia. So this is the main artery, or one of the 2 main arteries in Sumatra. That's why it's so busy. But in Pekanbaru, to go to Bukit Tinggi, you have to turn off onto a much smaller road. Boy, there's more traffic at 5:30 in the morning than I expected. More trucks and buses on the road. Uh-oh. Truck coming up behind me. He had to poor guy, he had to hit the brakes and slow down and then gear back up again. All right. Whew, this looks like a bit of a truck stop. Yeah. Oh yeah, bus station. Man, restaurants here, and all these big trucks have pulled over to grab some breakfast, I guess. A wise course of action, passing that bus station, probably would have been to just pull in there and try and put my bike on a bus to get to Pekanbaru today. As I said, my left knee is not happy. Ay, ay, ay. I just stopped at the side of the road to turn the GoPro around. Yeah. I'm still adjusting all the camera gear, all the bike gear, definitely on a daily basis, sometimes even an hour basis. So I still have two mounting ways for the GoPro, like two different sticks. And this morning I had the thinner blue stick, and the GoPro seemed to be bouncing around a whole lot more. So I switched back to this thicker brown one, and I want to see whether it holds up better. But since I'm not using the 360 camera this morning, you know, if I ever want to change the angle from pointing backwards to forwards or anything, I have to stop and move the whole camera. So, just for fun, I thought I would point the camera ahead of me for a little while, capture some of this dark road, a bit of a hill or two up ahead, so my knee is not going to be happy about that. But, look at that. That is just craziness. When these trucks are hitting this hill, they really pick up speed. Anyway, here's a short break in the trucks. I do find that just getting off the bike for a few minutes really helps my knee sort of adjust a little bit. I used to feel, maybe it's an illusion. But perhaps to make it to Pekanbaru today, a very slow journey seems to be ahead of me. I'm stopping quite often to take little breaks to let my knee rest. The pressure I put on my knee seems to be the key thing. As soon as I hit one of these hills and have to climb, the pain in my knee goes up dramatically. So hopefully there aren't too many hills today. I was just thinking though that since I'm heading into a large city, Pekanbaru has a population over 1 million people. Perhaps the road is going to get significantly wider at some point. So the closer I get to Pekanbaru, I think the traffic level is going to go up a lot. But maybe at the same time, the road will get wider, more lanes, and things will get easier as the day goes by. We shall see. Like right now, I have a little bit of a shoulder. It's going to disappear around this curve, but I had a shoulder for like half a kilometer. One interesting thing about this morning is that it seems very, very damp, like very humid. I haven't experienced much of that here so far. So as soon as I stepped outside of my room at the hotel, everything was covered in a film of condensation. My bike was quite wet to the touch, and all my camera gear suddenly became wet as soon as I stepped outside. Yeah, I can feel it right now. The air is very wet. A lot of moisture in the air. At the hotel, I think they were quite sad to see me leave so abruptly. Everyone seemed to enjoy having me at the hotel, and I think they were looking forward to having me as their guest for another breakfast. But as I explained to them, I really wanted to, I couldn't really wait for breakfast. I wanted to get on the road. And they seemed sad about that. And they really wanted to give me a breakfast to bring with me. They're gonna pack like a lunchbox for me to bring with me. And normally I would have said, yes, please, and thank you very much, but can't really risk eating today with my stomach the way it is. So even if I brought the food, I wouldn't be able to eat it. So I've climbed up a little bit in this direction. You can see a little bit of terrain, some hills, some fog down there. And the road has become quite curvy, as always happens when you start to go through some hills. Starting to get lighter. I can now see where I'm going, which is good. The last couple of mornings I noticed there's a full moon up in the sky. Actually, I noticed it in the video. I saw it in the video before I saw it in real life. I saw it in the video, I was like, oh, full moon. And then I started looking for it. I was like, okay, and there it is right now. It's up there in the sky again. I remember when I did a bit of cycling in the Philippines, I kept having the same thought about the mechanics of a internal combustion engine, you know, the engines on all these tiny scooters, because the hills in the Philippines, in like the back country areas, were phenomenally steep, like unbelievably steep. And I'd be, you know, riding my bike, and it would take every last ounce of my effort just to move my bike forward up these hills. And while I was doing that, quite tiny scooters, you know, with 50cc engines on them, would just go roaring past straight up that hill. And I always ended up marveling at how much power an engine can get out of gasoline. It does get pretty steep though. The one big adventure I've had so far is that the right wheel on my trailer on a fast downhill, it just fell off. And I don't think that's ever happened before. And I think what happened is truck coming behind me and ahead of me. Couple of trucks, and there was no shoulder here, so I wasn't able to get out of their way. Yeah, I think what happened is when I left from the hotel this morning, there was so much activity, all the selfies they were taking, and then one of the guys that works at the hotel, he wanted to take video of me leaving, like riding my bike out of the parking lot. So he went ahead of me, and then he was waiting for me. So I felt pressure to move faster, you know. I would normally, you know, after taking all the selfies, you know, I would stop and go over the bike carefully, set up the cameras, you know, make sure everything is in good condition. But I was kind of feeling like I had to move because the guy was waiting for me to go. So I guess I wasn't as careful as I normally am. And the trailer wheels has a sort of a bearing mechanism. You have to push them all the way in, and you can feel them and hear them click into place. And I must have inserted the wheels, but I was moving so fast and I was so distracted. I didn't actually get the right one locked into position with the bearing. And as I was riding along, the axle was slowly coming out, and I never noticed until the whole tire just fell right off. Trailer hit the pavement, Luckily, I generally, when I'm going downhill, I control my speed. I don't... Yikes. There's a face full of exhaust. I don't generally just let the bike go as, you know, zoom downhill. I apply the brakes a little bit. Plus, I move my hands right on the handlebars in the middle, and I'm holding the brakes just in case. So when the wheel fell off, I was able to hit the brakes quickly. Well, I've adjusted the GoPro so it's now facing towards me. You can see me huffing and puffing up a couple of hills that are coming up. Just wanted to make sure that the trailer wheels aren't falling off. Yeah, did a bit of damage to the trailer on the bottom because when the wheel fell off, I couldn't stop instantly. So the trailer was dragged along the pavement for a little bit. And when you do that, drag anything along pavement, doesn't take long until it tears it all up. So yeah, tore through the bottom of the trailer. Hey there, puppy. Puppy dog. Got to worry about these dogs with all these trucks. Luckily, the dogs here, most of them, the ones that I see, they don't tend to chase me. I'd be worried if they did chase me, you know, they would come out onto the road and get hit by a truck. But it's pretty rare. A few dogs have chased me, but not that many. What's coming up behind me? A big truck. I'll let them go by. All right. Oops. Oh, here's a dog that wants to bark at me a little bit. But on that side of the road, he's coming across. Yeah, I think they're not so worried about the dog chasing me. They're just worried, as I was, about the dog getting hit. Yeah, this is something else here. I'm going to pull over just for a second because I just spotted a chain with all kinds of sharp edges out in the middle of the road. And it just looks like it's something that's definitely going to give someone a flat tire. Oh. Yeah, it's a section of chain with these hooks attached to it. And you see all kinds of things like that on the road. And if it's not a dangerous section of the road, then I have lots of energy. I'll often stop and just toss it to the side. My Good Samaritan act for this morning. Good morning. How are you? All right. So I reached the top of that little incline, and now I can coast down the other side. Yeah, funny thing is, talking about that, earlier this morning, I moved something else off the highway. And I spotted it quite a long distance ahead of me on the road. I saw this big pile of like rubber sheeting, like thick rubber sheeting just lying in the middle of the road. And I was looking at that thing and thinking, yeah, I mean, it probably isn't dangerous, but trucks will have to, they'll see it at the last second and they'll have to swerve out of the way. So I thought, okay, I'll stop and get that rubber off the road. But before I reached it, a motorcycle passed me, and he was distracted, I guess, looking at me, didn't see the rubber. He hit it, and the rubber, it was like, as I said, really thick. It wasn't tarp, it was like heavy duty, I don't know, half-inch thick sheet of rubber, really thick, heavy stuff. And when he rode over it, kind of threw it up into the air, hit his bike, and it ripped some of the plastic cowling right off the engine block of his scooter. So just as I was looking at that pile of rubber thinking, oh, that's a dangerous thing, as soon as I thought that, someone hit it and tore pieces off their motorcycle. The guy never even noticed. Yeah, it's going to be a long day of cycling, very slow pace. It's 8 o'clock now. So I've been cycling for 2.5 hours, and I've only gone 20 kilometers. Yeah, 20 kilometers, that's almost a third of the way to Pekanbaru. So if I did that in 2.5 hours, it's going to take another 5 to 6 hours to get to Pekanbaru. Yeah, speed on a bicycle is a funny thing. Right now I'm going 27 kilometers an hour, 30. I'm gonna slow down here. A lot of big potholes. So right now I just hit 40 kilometers an hour. And if you're in a car, doing 40 kilometers an hour in a car, you feel like you're standing still. I mean, you're not moving at all. And yet on a bike, 40 kilometers an hour feels really fast. Yeah, a very different perception of speed. Couple of trucks. I do appreciate the quality of the driving, though. As I said, there's lots of trucks on this road, and I find it's a little bit narrow for this much truck traffic. But it could be worse because the drivers are actually pretty good. They, as a rule, they don't cut too close to me. They're very considerate drivers. I find there isn't a whole lot of, passing on a blind curve at high speed, that sort of thing. I've seen a little bit of that, but not a great deal of that. And a lot of the trucks, when they come up behind me and they can see that it's not safe to go around me, for the most part, they'll slow down, gear down, and wait until the road is clear, and then they go. So, yeah, the driving seems good. And the other thing I think about are all these trucks with the palm nuts, the palm oil. Like there's one going by me right now, that yellow one, and there's an orange one up ahead. I find it to be an interesting plant, and I've seen men go by on their motorbikes with these very long scythes to cut the fruit down from the tree because they're quite tall, and the scythes are like, I don't know, 20 to 30 feet long. The one thing I think about when these trucks, oh boy, I better get off to the side here. This truck is taking up a good chunk of the road. There's no room left over for me. Whew. I was just complimenting the driving, but maybe he broke down. I was gonna say, I don't think too much of that strategy of parking right on the highway and taking up an entire lane, but maybe his truck broke down. I doubt it though. Who knows why he parked there, but it's causing a lot of trouble. But yeah, I was thinking of those trucks with the palm nuts, because they're heavily packed, those trucks, and I often see one of the nuts at the side of the road, you know, smashed. And every one that I see smashed is one that fell off one of those trucks. And if you get whacked in the head with one of those, yeah, that would hurt. So when one of those trucks goes by, or even one of the trucks with the timber, I spare a thought for thinking about something falling off the truck. You know, I try and keep one or two brain cells aware of the possibility that any truck that goes by, something could fall off its load. Like if a truck was coming towards me and a piece of wood fell off, or one of those palm nuts fell off, I mean, it would be like a projectile coming right at me. So I always have that in the back of my mind to be careful. I guess it's time for a trip update and knee update. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm in a small town called Minas, something like that. Really nice looking place. As the place where I stayed last night, I really liked the hotel, the W72. And it's in a town called Candace. But Candace, I don't know, I didn't spend enough time there to really get a feel for the place. It felt more like just a spot where the kind of a widening of the road, more so than an established town, right? But this place, Minas, feels like an actual city, like a little place. Has a real sense of the center and the streets and the neighborhoods. So it just has a nice feeling to it. You're up in the hills, and right on the edges of the road, you can see down into valleys on all sides. So yeah, it's quite nice. And I passed lots of places where I could eat. Unfortunately, I am hungry, but there's just no way. I can't risk putting any food into my system right now. I'm going to have to wait until I get to Pekanbaru before I dare do that. It could trigger all kinds of nastiness. So I'm going to have to wait until I check into my hotel room, and then I can get something to eat. But yeah, I don't really want to risk it being out on the road. But I did stop for one of my favorite snacks, Ultra Milk, and one of my favorite places, an Indonesia convenience store. I love these places and the Alphamart shops, just because they have seating all the time. You know, they have some places to sit on the outside. And this is the parking area. You can see the name of the place up there, the blue and yellow sign, Indonesia. my bike right over there. And then, yeah, they always have an area like this where you can sit. It's mainly a smoking area, of course, but you can sit out here and have a drink and relax for a bit. Yeah, really comfortable chairs. So, yeah, I needed a break from the road too. Knee update. Similar to the other days, good news and bad news. The good news is I've ridden about 40 kilometers to get here, and it was pretty tough riding, to be honest. A lot of steep climbs. It was just basically up and down the entire way. So it put a strain on my knees, and my right knee after 40 kilometers, I don't feel anything. I don't feel any pain. I don't feel any strain, nothing at all. So that's good news. But my left knee has been, it's a bit of a wreck still. So I kind of had to depend on my right leg for most of the cycling this morning. Yeah, the left knee is not in good shape. So that's not good news. But the fact that my right knee is in good condition makes me feel like my left knee might improve over time. So that's the good news side of this equation. Good news, bad news. Yeah, so from here I expect it's going to get busier and busier and busier as I head into the big city of Pekanbaru. A lot of oil industry again, this whole area. There were 3 guys sitting here having a drink, and I was chatting with them, and not surprisingly they all work for the big national petrochemical company. Other guys that I spoke to out on the road and here, some other guys, they work for Chevron, and Chevron has a lot of operations here as well. And I had my eye on a couple of roads that I could take between here and Pekanbaru, but when you zoom down on them in Google Maps, you find out that they're all private oil field roads, and they have security checkpoints, and I don't think it's open to public traffic anyway, so you have to be careful what road you try to take here. A lot of them are private, they're run by the oil industries. So, but I have my route picked out, how to get to Pekanbaru. About somewhere between 35 kilometers from here to get to my hotel, depending on the roads that I take. So, fingers crossed my left knee will hold out for the remainder of the distance. At what feels like long last, I'm just entering into the outskirts of Pekanbaru. I think my hotel is about 9 kilometers from here, and relatively straight shot to get there. It shouldn't be that complicated. I have to stay on this road most of the way for about 7 kilometers, and then this road goes over a bridge, goes over a river on a bridge, and then after that I've got to kind of zigzag a little bit to arrive at the hotel. So this is how you know you're entering a big city. It's the first stoplight I've seen in days and days and days. I don't think I've seen a stoplight before since I arrived. I don't know, there must have been one since I arrived in Sumatra. But I don't know, that red light there feels unusual to me. Hello. And up ahead of me, I can see a bridge. We're getting closer to downtown. I'm getting the feeling now that the main populated district of Pekanbaru is on the other side of the river. I think as soon as you cross the river, yikes! He was using one of those 25-foot scythes that I was talking about earlier. They use those to cut down the palm fruit
He's using it to trim the trees at the side of the road. Whew. Short distance away from my hotel, about 2 kilometers, I think. Just got to get over the river on this bridge. I think the river is called the Siak River or Siak River, something like that. Whew. Let's see if we can do this. I left the bike in a really high gear when I came to a stop there. Oh man, that knee hurts. Ow, ow, ow. Got a gear way down to climb up this bridge. I put some sunscreen on my forehead when the sun came out. And now that I'm sweating, all the sweat carries the sunscreen down into my eyes. My eyes start burning. Whew. There you go. Looking at that billboard ahead of me, the ADV 160. It looks like a lot of fun. To trade in my beast of a bicycle for one of those. Getting a view of the river and a view of the main city, Pekanbaru. Yeah, I don't know much about this city, other than the fact that it's the capital of this province. Has over 1 million people. And that's all I know, basically. I didn't really have plans to come here originally. Nice river. A lot of bridges going across it. Straight ahead on this road until it dead ends. Kind of a T intersection, I guess. And I turn left there. No idea who had the right of way at that intersection, but traffic seemed to be clear. Uh-oh. I'm running into the one-way streets. It's funny how the last scattering of kilometers before you're home for the night always tends to be the most complex and the most difficult to navigate. But I'm having some trouble getting through these small streets here. All right. I think this is my curve. And then I turn right. Without getting whacked in the head with a metal pipe, that would be good. And right over here should be the entrance. There we are. What the heck have I? Something's rattling. There it is. Yeah, as I said, older hotel, kind of falling apart, showing its age. But I think it was very nice when it was built. So, restaurant, lounge, meeting rooms, penthouse. So I'm all checked in. They accepted my Agoda reservation, which is nice. And I'm just making my way down to room 101, 103, 106, 102, and here we are, 101. Or is it 110? 101 or 110? It's the, 110. I'm trying to break into somebody else's room. 110, here we are. Suppose I can be forgiven. 101 and 110 are pretty close. There we go. Well, look at that. That couldn't possibly be a fridge down there, could it? No. No, it's just a, just a cupboard. Got my hopes up for a second. Yeah, very dark in here. Clearly showing its age, has a smell, kind of a, I don't know what that smell is. It's not mold or fungus or anything. It's not paint. I'm not quite sure what it is, but anyway, it has a definite odor. And yeah, twin beds, which is nice. This will be my sleeping bed, my bed for all my gear. They gave you 2 nice bottles of water, and they comes with a kettle, which is nice. And yeah, area there for all of your clothing. No window at all in this room. So yeah, no windows at all. The air conditioner turned on automatically. And hopefully that works. And very dark in here in the bathroom, but here's the bathroom. Sink has water, shower, separate shower stall, which is nice. And they provide toothpaste and a toothbrush and some kind of a soap gel in there. And yeah, so I got to go down and get my other bag and my trailer. And then I asked about my bicycle. There's plenty of room up here. I could put it up here, but they said I can just put it in the garage. So I guess that's what I will do, I suppose. I'd prefer to bring it up here, but we'll see how that goes. So I've moved into my room, and they came up with a really good spot for me to put the bicycle. They have a parking garage here, and then they had a separate room off the parking garage, and then another room off that room. And it looks like it's some sort of a coffee room, break room, and prayer room. And now it's also a bicycle storage room. So that's where my bike is. Very happy about that. And this is the lobby of the hotel. They have some nice sofas here. One thing I always wish hotels had, like a vending machine where you could just grab a cold Coke or orange juice or cold bottle of water, something like that. I mean, I think guests would go crazy for that kind of stuff, but hotels never sell anything themselves. They never have a little shop or vending machines, anything like that. I often wonder why. But yeah, this is the relaxing area, and that's the desk for checking in. And to end this video, I thought I'd just go outside onto the street and get a view of the hotel in all its glory. I don't know about this neighborhood at all. Doesn't seem like a very, friendly neighborhood. It'd be nice if I could just step outside and there'd be like rows of restaurants and markets and coffee shops and convenience stores, but there's really nothing here at all. Maybe just go outside and turn a couple of corners. Maybe there's just a block away, there's interesting neighborhoods. But anyway, there's the Windstar. Yeah, not a bad ride to get here. It's I'm all checked in, everything's done at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's not bad. Now I just have to unpack, have a cup of coffee in my room, relax, find something to eat, and then first thing tomorrow morning, I head to immigration, and that should be quite an adventure. See how that turns out. I hope I get the visa by Friday. I hope, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's it. Shutting down. I'm glad to have made it here at all. Got to say that. Yeah. Good day, though. Good ride, despite all the difficulties. A very enjoyable day. Like that a lot. So, see you in the next video.